Namaste, you're on The Nation at 5. I'm Anand Narsiman coming to you live from the newsroom here at CNN News 18. The murder of Shraddha at the hands of Aftab not only exposed a devious mind, but it sent shockwaves across the nation as the gory details continue to emerge. A murder that's committed on the 18th of May 2022 comes to the fore or comes to light nearly 6 months later. And a lot of the details that are now coming are just absolutely shocking. But there is a larger question. In the recent past and of course today, what we've seen in Lucknow, what we've seen in Jharkhand, what we are also seen emanate in Aurangabad 2 or 3 days ago, also raises this question, are these crimes just random acts or is there a sinister pattern? Joining us now is the former Lieutenant Governor to Puducherry and also former top cop, Kiran Bedi ji, joining us live here. Kiran ji, namaste. Thank you so much for making the time. I'm sure you have followed the details of this bizarre, gruesome, grisly case. This butcher who's killed somebody who he claimed to love, and they were living together in Delhi. 3 days after they have moved out of Mumbai and come to Delhi, he's committed this act on the 18th of May. What would you make of this case, prima facie?
Anand, while we are all aware of the investigation which is going on, very well aware because of the media coverage which is having, I think we are doing our daughters in India a lot of injustice. We're not grooming them to become strong. We're not grooming them to prepare for life. We're not grooming them for relationships. We're not making them courageous. I think we're not doing our girls. Now, see, when things, and here was this an educated girl. She is not a backward, she was a educated, let's say, a college graduate dropout, I do not know. But she's not an illiterate woman. She has seen. Here's a man who's coming from applications, these apps of dating. And obviously he's dating and dating and dating. The moment this girl, had she detected, when she knows that she was in trouble and this man was not the right choice, why doesn't she raise the red flag? Why are we not training our girls to say, you have to have zero tolerance for a beating by a husband or abusive nature of a husband or shouts of anger by a husband. Give him a chance. If it doesn't, call the family, call the friends, call the neighbors. Why are you quite? Because you're thinking that these people will recover. They don't. Research doesn't show any redemption unless they've gone for an overall for certain transformative courses. We are not doing our justice to our girls, neither in education, nor in upbringing, nor in grooming. We're just letting girls just be there. We need to have bold girls. Look, if they can't, because they're bold and courageous and they don't find a match, so be it. But why get into violent prison relationships? Here, this woman was literally living in a prison of her own, where she was getting beaten, abused, and if she claims to be having sent a message, come and save me, why save me? I've saved myself. Why is she saying save me? I'm not blaming her. I'm only raising a larger issue. What are we doing with our daughters? We're not letting them play. Go, make them play. Go play. Hit. But the question here is, unless you make them bold and courageous, make them mobile, and then of course teach them realities of life, saying that this is what... Sorry. This is what relationship means. This is what relationship means. Be prepared for this. And if a man is dating, womanizing also at home, and she's complaining, and that she is also watching crime scenes, my God, it's a perfect recipe for getting killed one day. Why did she not cry? And number two, when parents when parents reject a particular decision of a daughter, don't abandon the girl. Keep track of her. Don't abandon her. Keep track of her through neighbors, through friends, etc., so that at least her physical welfare. Look, their responsibility for a child security is of the primary responsibilities of the parents. Why are they not fulfilling this responsibility?
True. Kiranji, the other aspect is, what are we teaching our sons? What are the boys being taught? What are the mothers teaching such men? Men in Indian society?
Absolutely, we're doing the same thing, Anand. On one hand, we are controlling the girl, we are not decontrolling the boy. Why doesn't he observe certain timelines for the house to be home? Why doesn't he join the family for dinner? Why is his expenses not under some check, pocket money under check? Why is his mobility not accountable? Why not? So while irresponsible behavior is the license, while a controlled behavior is another way for the girls, I think this is not the way India will become a demographic dividend. If we want our girls to become enterprising, out to be business and to add to the GDP, they've got to be cold and brave and courageous. Well, if they want to marry, they marry, but make them understand what is a live-in relationship, what is the application, what is womanizing, what is domestic violence. They must know the act. They must know what is the Domestic Violence Act. Where can they go to? And number 3, they must know the parents' home is available. Sometimes parents say, "Ab tu gayi, ab hamari nahi, kuch nahi बढ़ के मत देखना. This house is not available for you." Why not? Why not? This is available for you as a sense of security. All right. If the parents can't do that, then let there be institutions, government institutions, social security institutions, where she can walk in as temporary shelters, which are clean and neat and worthy, and she can move out gradually. So I think we need to put social systems in place, parental responsibility, friends to stay in contact, and she being alert on what kind of behavior is this man going, whether it's a live-in relationship or a husband, and where is the social system available for her to take the last refuge.
Ji. On a fight, and he's pushed her from the roof. Now, increasingly, there are people saying this is a trend. This is happening pan-India. Would you attach a motive or a sinister pattern to this, or would you say these are just random acts of crime, which is a bane in society?
Why don't we do social audits? Why don't we do a national security social audit for women's security? How are the women feeling? Why don't we do state-wise, district-wise social audits? Where are the social institutions available for a woman who dares to say, "I'm walking out of a violent relationship. Here I could go here, and there was something which was there for temporary," and then she learns an enterprise, she learns do some skill development, and she goes into business, she gets a loan, and she manages her own life. Or if she has children, I think we need to put social systems in place, which we haven't. I think there's a need for an annual social audit to judge women's security and rate the states accordingly.
Politicians like Ram Kadam, some union ministers, others have attached a motive of the love jihad angle, as they are calling it. They believe that Hindu boy, Muslim boy, Hindu girl, there seems to be a pattern to this.
I would not tend to link these two at the moment. It is not at all linkable at the moment for me at all. I think it's just a question of a very criminal mind she's got involved into, who is dating and dating and dating. I think even after living in, probably the man continued to date. Why did she continue with this relation? What has this to do with another faith? She could have walked out. Why wasn't she courageous enough? Why did the father say the doors are now shut for you? You don't belong to us anymore. No, the doors are open. If something happens, come back. Shraddha, the whole house is open for you. Why won't the brothers also say, house is available for you? We will help you stand on your own feet and become economically reliable. Why don't we train our women to become first priority, become economically self-reliant? And then psychologically becoming a self-observer on what's happening on the relationship. Relationships will happen and they can go sour, but they don't have to get butchered. Women don't have to get butchered in relationships, because the first sign of the first violence should be held back, saying this is not acceptable. I think the women have to be trained to say, in a relationship, what must be rejected, what is not acceptable, whether it's one community or the other, what is not acceptable. And that's where the women have, and said, well, in the case it doesn't work, this house is available, this institution is available, this NGO is available, or this village house is available. Why not? Why don't we secure our women? Actually, I think women also suffer from insecurity once they move on to another house as migrant. In fact, women is the biggest migrant class in this country. They are the ones who leave one home and go into the other. They are migrants. Women are migrants. And they do not know whether there is a place to return to. Those are the women who have a place to go, secured. But those who haven't, they are migrants. And that's why the men butcher them.
Coming to this case, Kiranji, because he himself claims he has shred the body or sawed the body into 35 different parts, and he's disposed them over 18 days. But it's been more than 6 months that it has happened. The police are also finding it difficult to piece together the evidence, because what he states or tells the cops in interrogation or during interrogation is not admissible in court unless it's been taken in the presence of a magistrate under 164 CRPC. How would you see this investigation proceeding? What do you see the challenges in front of the Delhi police?
No, the fact that they are recovering and discovering these bodies, if the DNA confirms it is Shraddha's body, I think is a very great piece of evidence. Very valuable, admissible, relevant piece of evidence, because any recovery and discovery made on the accused taking you to the scenes of crime is very valuable. So if they continue to make these recoveries, the weapon recovery and the head recovery, I think it's a clinching, very, very strongly clinching case. But it's the technology which will settle this issue more than any.
Stockholm syndrome. That means they are in the captivity of the predator, but they tend to romanticize the whole aspect. And like you said, they continue to remain in this eternal hope that this person will change. What is your message to such people?
They will not change. I think they're living in a dream world of their own. Such women will, at least people who've got anger, severe anger. They've got alcoholism problem, they've got gambling problem, they've got womanizing problem. And if they've got this, then they won't change. Unless they go to huge transformation, go to certain retreats and go through a transformation, not otherwise. I think they're living in a false expectations. They must give the person a respite, move out, or he moves out, and they have a right to their house. In fact, they could go to the court and stay back and get the man out. Get the man out. This is domestic violence. They could go to the court, and the courts will certainly say, you stay on with the children, because children and man pay the maintenance cost, you move out. You will see the courts doing it. That's where we need better, the kind of lawyers to go to the courts, and you will see the courts ruling in their favor. Courts do rule in their favor for maintenance and house. And if they have parents along with, let them stay. Let them be a shared household. But if they are expecting the man to be changed without going into long retreats and becoming transformative, it doesn't. I think living in an imaginary world of their own. You are at risk. When the man is showing these crime patterns and these applications and this womanizing and this gambling and there is alcohol, etc., and these serials, you are living at risk with him.
Ji. Kiranji, thank you very much for your time and also for your thoughts and message that you've sent out to all those who are somehow bearing the brunt of this kind of atrocity and this kind of behavior. The larger message to the menfolk also. If you are fathers and you have daughters, then you see how you behave with your spouse because your daughters are watching it. If you're fathers, if you're mothers and you have sons in the house, see how you behave because your sons are watching it. So it's the message. It all happens inside the household and then it percolates and translates into how they conduct themselves in society. Moving on and staying on this very story, ladies and gentlemen, we've got news coming through from Mumbai. And this is the big development that both Aftab and Shraddha actually live together at this place called the White Hills Society in Vasai in Mumbai. Vasai is a distant suburb from central Mumbai. That's how they positioned and portrayed themselves to the apartment owner when they applied for tenancy. And in police verification, they showed themselves to be husband and wife. Mihir Trivedi now joins us with more details. Mihir, if they have claimed to be husband and wife, did they submit any proof?
Well, that is the mystery at this point, Anand. But yes, we have these documents, which is like a leave-in license agreement in our hand, and we have it in our possession, which clearly states that, they have moved into this particular flat. Remember, both of them had their respective homes in Vasai, but decided to start a new life, move together, and their first stop was this particular society in Vasai, where they rented this apartment for which they furnished details. Now it's interesting whether the police verification on this particular live-in license was done properly or not, because if they claim themselves to be husband and wife in this particular document, then there has to be some document to furnish that whether that was done in the right manner or whether procedure was followed or not is a big question. But at this point, what we understand is that the couple did move before heading to Delhi. They had this pit stop in this particular flat where they spent 6 months and claimed in the documents, which is an official document, as husband and wife. So clearly many questions are being raised at this point. In fact, one can see pictures of both their family members also attached, considering there needs to be some sort of evidence given as far as whom do you know or
दूसरे फ्लोर पर 201 नंबर फ्लैट है और इसी फ्लैट में दोनों करीब 5 से 6 महीने तक रहे थे, लेकिन उसके बाद इस फ्लैट को छोड़कर मार्च 2022 में उन्होंने जो है दिल्ली शिफ्ट कर लिया था। और ऐसे में जो नए रेंटर उनसे जानते हैं कि क्या वो शिफ्ट कब आए यहाँ पर, क्या उनसे कोई बातचीत है, उनको जानकारी है, कब आए आप यहाँ पे?
जी हम अगस्त में आए हैं यहाँ पे।
जब आप यहाँ पे आए तो क्या कोई जानकारी दी गई आपको कि यहाँ से पहले कौन रहता था?
नहीं, जानकारी के हिसाब से हमें खाली इतना पता है कि 2 कपल्स पहले यहाँ पे रहते थे, जो कुछ दिनों में मतलब ज़्यादा टाइम तक नहीं, बट कम से कम 5-6 महीने में छोड़ के चले गए। उसके बाद 2 महीना खाली था, उसके बाद फिर हम शिफ्ट हुए यहाँ पे।
तो आपको मतलब ऐसे कुछ जानकारी पड़ोसियों से भी नहीं है? क्योंकि
नहीं, पड़ोसियों से भी नहीं, ऐसा कुछ आइडिया नहीं है उसके बारे में।
तो इनको इतनी जानकारी है कि इनके आने से पहले यहाँ पर कोई कपल रहता था। हालांकि जो आसपास के पड़ोसी हैं उनका ये कहना है कि जो ये कपल रहते, आफ्ताब और श्रद्धा रहते थे, वो ज़्यादा किसी से बात नहीं करते थे, मिलनसार किस्म के नहीं थे, लोगों से मिलते जुलते नहीं थे।
And CNN News 18 has been able to piece together the incident on the day of the murder. That's the 18th of May 2022. This is a CNN News 18 exclusive. What your channel has learnt is that Aftab and Shraddha fought once again. There was another fight amongst them. They had been fighting and bickering quite often, but this time the fight was on household affairs. Aftab lost his temper, lost his cool, strangled Shraddha. The murder took place between 8 and 10 p.m. on the 18th of May. Shraddha's body was there in that very room, in Aftab's room, all through the night. On the 19th of May, Aftab bought a knife and a refrigerator. He then threw Shraddha's clothes and other belongings onto a moving garbage collection truck. So there is no way that can be traced. 6 months ago, in an open garbage truck that passes through the area collecting the morning garbage, he just dumped it. Nobody's noticed it. It's gone. That evidence is gone. Anvit now joins us with more. Anvit, so this is the entire chronology of the events that day. But was it the same day when Shraddha had actually messaged her friend that she feels a threat to her life? Was it on the 18th of May during the day that she had sent the message, and on that night they fight again and she's dead? And did Aftab say it was very easy to strangle her and kill her during interrogation?
Yes, Anand. See, the message was sent somewhere around that day itself because police are yet still doing technical analysis of WhatsApp chats and Telegram chats which Shraddha's friend used to have with her, and also which the apps that Aftab used to interact with Shraddha and their common friends. But the sequence of event that we have managed to crack is that on May 18th, it was somewhere around 5 to 6 p.m. when Shraddha and Aftab again get into a heated argument. This argument suddenly turns violent. They had been having fights, and Shraddha had also informed her family members and close friends about it. She had also earlier complained that this man used to physically assault her at times and hurl abuses at her, their relationship has gone sour. But no one had anticipated what's coming, and on that very day, on May 19th, around roughly between 8 to 10 p.m. is what the time when the police officials, the investigators are telling us that this man strangles Shraddha, and then he hides the body in his own room in that very house, and then that night he spends there in that room with Shraddha's body. After that, the next day he goes out to buy a knife, a refrigerator, a saw, because he had already planned to dismember the body, cut it into pieces to get away with this murder, and he had this in his mind that if he manages that the police does not find the body, it will be very difficult for them to collect evidences against him. This once again reflects on how well planned and how well thought this entire conspiracy was. Earlier also we have pointed out that they have shifted into this Delhi house less than a month before the murder took place. That also police officials are looking at as one of the aspects that could hint toward that this was a very well planned murder. Again, when he chops off the body, and it takes around him 2 to 3 days to chop off the entire body and wrap them into plastic tapes and plastic bags so that the blood doesn't seep. He then buys a refrigerator to freeze them off. But other than that, the clothes and the jewelry and some other items that belong to Shraddha, he throws them in a moving garbage truck. Those trucks that come in the morning on the residential areas, he throws it off from the balcony to these trucks, and then these trucks take these garbage, local garbage, to the dump site, and it is very difficult to find out for the police that whatever he had dumped into the garbage site 6 months ago from now, where did that go? Where did that go after that? So these are the challenges before the police right now to collect these evidences, and so far all the theories that are coming out are mainly from the confession of this man. Police will need some scientific evidences to corroborate with this statement so that a watertight case can be built against him.
Anvit, thank you for your inputs. Anshul getting us a ground report from the area where the searches are being conducted. Chhatarpur.
Standing at the Mehrauli Chhatarpur jungle. This morning at around 4 p.m, several teams of Delhi police arrive over here to conduct a search operation. Yesterday, the team of Delhi police brought Aftab over here, and Aftab yesterday pointed out a few places that he claimed that he had thrown the body parts of Shraddha after killing her on May 18th. Today, the team of Delhi police along with dog squads comes here in the morning. For at least 2 to 3 hours, the dog squad searched the entire area where Aftab had pointed out. However, if you see, the body was cut into 35 pieces, and hence each size of that body part could be actually very, very small, and hence it is going to be very, very difficult for the Delhi police to make sure that they get their hands on those body parts, because there are wild animals who actually live in this jungle as well. There are wild dogs who live in this jungle as well. So yes, this is the most crucial piece of evidence that the Delhi police is searching right now, because remember, all other evidences that the Delhi police has managed to gather, they all are circumstantial evidences, and the two most crucial piece of evidences that Delhi police has not been able to get their hands on are, number one, the body parts of Shraddha, number two, the murder weapon that Aftab used to kill Shraddha. So these two are the most crucial evidences in this entire case, because remember, the entire investigation that is going on by the Delhi police, they are investigating the entire case on the statements that have been made by Aftab himself. So yes, whatever he is saying, that needs to be corroborated with evidence, otherwise the entire investigation would not stand in the court of law, and that is why we are seeing that the Delhi police has already made several teams into this case. The first team is looking at the hard evidences such as the murder weapon, the body parts. The second team is coordinating with the forensic labs, because remember, a few bones were found over here over the last 2 to 3 days, and those bones have been sent to the forensic labs.
तो सर, ये श्रद्धा केस, जब आपको श्रद्धा के बारे में जानकारी मिली थी तो किस तरीके से जानकारी मिली थी? कैसे आपको पता चला कि श्रद्धा का मर्डर हुआ है?
श्रद्धा का दोस्त है वो सही उन्होंने बताया कि श्रद्धा का कुछ पता नहीं चल रहा है, मेरा कांटेक्ट नहीं हो रहा है, तो आप जरा पता कर लीजिए। तब मैं फिर कोशिश करने लगा, पुलिस में जाके कंप्लेंट कराई हमारे लोकल पुलिस से। श्रद्धा का क्लोज फ्रेंड था जो हमेशा उसकी मदद करना चाहता था।
जी
और जी उसी के मतलब चलते उसने हमें इन्फॉर्म किया कि मुझे कुछ डाउट लग रहा है, तो आप जरा पता कर लीजिए। तो हमने फिर उस हिसाब से कंप्लेंट लिखवाई और फिर इन्वेस्टिगेशन चालू हो गया।
तो श्रद्धा आपके संपर्क में नहीं रहती थी सर?
जी, कभी कभार कांटेक्ट होता था हमारा। मेरे से थोड़ा मतलब ये रिलेशन की वजह से ज्यादा बातचीत नहीं करती थी मेरे से। ये कुछ 14 अगस्त को मुझे उसके दोस्त ने बताया था। उसके बाद 15 अगस्त को हम थोड़ा डिस्कस करके फिर ये तो कैसे हम कोशिश करेंगे। तब फिर हम बोले कि नहीं, ये तो मिसिंग हुई है, तो आपको तो कंप्लेंट लेनी है, तो आप जरा कोशिश कीजिए। तब फिर वैसे पुलिस ने कंप्लेंट लिखवाई और फिर इन्वेस्टिगेशन चालू किया था।
सर, आफ्ताब से कभी बात हुई थी आपके साथ?
नहीं, मेरे से कभी बातचीत नहीं होती थी। जी जी, मेरे साथ जब भी वो दिल्ली पर सुन के, तो बाद में उसने मुझे बताया कि मैंने उसका मर्डर किया है।
ये कुछ बताया सर, कोई वजह कि क्यों मारा, मतलब इस तरीके से, क्या कोई झगड़ा दोनों के बीच में हुआ?
वो झगड़ा तो बीच बीच में होता ही था उसका, और श्रद्धा भी उससे नाराज थी बहुत। तो लेकिन वो वैसे ही, मतलब कभी कभी उसको बहुत परेशान करता था। तो श्रद्धा ने एक दो बार शायद ब्रेकअप करने की कोशिश भी की, लेकिन उसने फिर से वो समझा के उसको वापस साथ में रखा, और उसको तकलीफ देना तो कभी, मतलब चालू ही रखा था।
तो सर, अभी आपकी कोई मांग है इस मामले में?
मुझे तो ये वाकया जो किया है उसने बहुत बुरा किया है। उसकी सजा तो उसको ऐसे ही होनी चाहिए। जो कानून, मतलब इसको कम से कम फांसी दिलाए।
आफ्ताब आया था आपके पास 18 तारीख को और 19 तारीख को आया था, तो क्या आपको उसको देख करके कुछ ऐसा लगा था कि कुछ गलत काम करके आया है, या बहुत नॉर्मल दिख रहा था?
कस्टमर जैसे आते हैं कस्टमर की तरह ही था। ये भी नहीं पता कि आफ्ताब था, ये तो अब पता चला है 19 तारीख को।
अच्छा, आपके पास पुलिस आई थी आफ्ताब को लेकर के?
हाँ
और उसने बोला कि यहाँ से लेके गए।
हाँ।
तो 19 तारीख को वो आता है, कैसे पेमेंट की उसने? और
कार्ड पेमेंट की थी उसने।
कार्ड पेमेंट की थी। कितने का फ्रिज था?
25,300 का।
और उससे बात करके कुछ ऐसा लग रहा था जब उस दिन आया था, या जब पुलिस के साथ
नहीं
आया
नहीं,
था?
नॉर्मल था।
तो आपको कहीं शंका नहीं हुई कि थोड़ा अग्रेसिव
बिल्कुल नॉर्मल, उससे कोई वो ऐसा कोई शंका ही नहीं।
तो जब पुलिस आई यहाँ पर लेकर के, आपको कैसा, आपकी क्या प्रतिक्रिया थी जब पुलिस उसको लेकर आया यहाँ पे? बोला कि यहाँ से फ्रिज लेकर गया था।
वो नॉर्मल ही था, जैसे आम आदमी होते हैं उस हिसाब से, उसे कोई अफसोस नहीं था।
Short break here on The Nation at 5. When we come back, who is threatening journalists in Jammu and Kashmir? Stay with us.